Have you ever used mobile money?
Well, it depends on what you mean by in
Well,
Tanzania.
M-Pesa in Tanzania. In Tanzania.
Well, not directly.
Not directly.
Until someone like you and
Okay,
something.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
But in the US, yes, I do. Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay,
yeah,
great. Because I think it's an innovation that has
Right.
really shifted things,
Yes.
right? And I think most African countries are now adapting to it. And when you go to Rwanda, I'll tell you, um, you you can buy almost anything using mobile money, and people hardly carry cash with them, right? For example, if you're taking a motorbike, right, you can pay using mobile money, right? So it's like almost all the countries in East Africa or Africa for that matter are trying to adapt to mobile money, right? And I think it's also changing things in the way we know and use money.
Yes.
And in as much as there are actually solutions, there are solutions that were online and people didn't need to use hard cash, but I think in a way the pandemic accelerated that process.
Yes.
And do you think we are heading towards a cashless system?
You say we have to a lot of extent, we still have cash.
Yes.
But first of all, what you've pointed out, I think is very, very important to point out. And from what I'm reading, actually, East Africa, not just East Africa, is among the leaders in the world in mobile money, which is really it is good to see that. But also see in person, I see that actually taking place, and the benefits are plenty. Whether we'll reach a point where we're cashless completely, I don't know. And I'm not saying it is bad or good, but as long as it happens organically, in other words, just it happens.
Yeah, it happens itself.
Yeah,
like we're not rushing things up.
That is fine. And I was disappointed in my view. I don't remember when, if it was sometime last year, and I wrote an op-ed piece about this. When Tanzanian government increased taxes on mobile
transfer payments.
transfer payment, and there was the argument was that the tax revenue that was going to be collected was going to be used for specific projects. I just don't know. In my view, where the money is going to be spent, as good as it is, for education, does not necessarily justify the means. Now, the means that we are raising this revenue. So I wrote an op-ed piece because I felt it was a tax that hurt mostly people who are poor, because those who are transferring a lot of money can do through banks and therefore avoid paying the taxes. Okay. I don't remember where it ended, because at some point it was they kind of held and decided maybe not to, and maybe they reduced the amount of tax that they were going to increase. I don't know. And it was something that I've studied very carefully. But to me, it sounded like it is a tax that hurt the poor more than those people with better means.
And it's quite fascinating because it's an innovation that is actually benefiting a lot of people, right? And the world is actually astonished by it. And here we are increasing tax on one of the innovations that at least, it's showing a huge promise for success in the future, worldwide, Africa, Tanzania, everywhere. And then now we are starting to increase tax such that individuals who were normally using the service as much as they possibly can start reducing that because of the taxes. I don't think...
Well, from some, I can understand from the government's perspective, not that I think it's a good thing, because there are some taxes which are very easy to collect.
It is
so
easy.
obvious. It's very clear how much you have sent and
how
what
much
the
they
taxes.
can tax you.
So because when collecting taxes, one thing that the government also takes into account is actually the cost of collecting those taxes.
Oh, okay? And this one has no cost.
It hardly any cost, because you are collecting this amount of revenue, but also you have spent, I don't know what percentage of that just collecting it. This is very, very, as you said, the cost is almost zero. So it is, from a government's perspective, I'm not saying it is equitable, but it is very efficient. But of course, one has to be careful not to use that as the reason to put taxes on, because if you use that really, then there's no limit as to how much taxes
That's true.
people should.
Also, in some way, discourage people from using the service. In as much as they need to use it, I mean, cash is still an option, really.
Yes.
So, I mean, people can choose to use cash, but
Yes.
I think it's just bringing in unnecessary inconveniences. Well, despite the fact that you understand why the government is doing that and the
Yes.
benefit and the cost of collecting the tax, it's easy for them. That's a problem that most African countries face, even in innovation. Like
Yes.
you innovate something and the amount of tax that the government takes,
Yes.
it becomes a huge challenge and you even want to move industries. Did Mohamed Deuji, who would also be a guest on my podcast, did he move one of his industries to Kenya during Magufuli's time because of tax?
That I don't know, because all I know is also reading in the newspaper, but I don't really know all the details to know what the reason. Since hopefully you'll have an opportunity to talk with him, I think it's a question that
Absolutely.
you'll be able to answer in person.
Yeah.